Hi folks, I'm Vanessa Sockett. Welcome to the first Containers in HPC community survey. Let's get started. So a little bit of history. We actually had this idea a couple of years ago. We had all the questions, the data, we organized it, but it never made it out. And this was one of those perfections, the envy of the good things, too many cooks in the kitchen. But what if I told you it doesn't need to be perfect? Indeed, so we decided to launch it this year. So what were we interested in? Well, we want to know about you. Who are you? Container technologies, what's available? What are you using? Building and registries, how are you doing it? I hope you're using best practices. And then general feedback. We got 189 total responses, and we could still get more today. Now, let's start with a question. Who are you? Well, you are coming from a lot of different environments, from academic to national labs to commercial. This is a nice sample of our HPC community. In terms of your roles, there's a lot of diversity here, from sysadmin to RSE, research software engineer, scientist, manager, and many other roles. Our community is very, very diverse. How do you rate your experience with containers? I was a little surprised by this. We have more intermediate and then experts than beginners. Maybe that reflects how we distributed the survey. Do you develop container technologies or related tooling? We have a pretty good sizable number of developers that took the survey. How often do you use them? This question made me so happy because people are using containers daily, just like brushing your teeth, maybe not like brushing your teeth. And then the next kind of range is like a few times a week, weekly. This is really great because they've become a very important part of our workflows. Let's jump into container technologies. Commence the battle of the no battles here, folks. So what container technologies are provided on the systems that you're using? We don't see any surprises here. Singularity, Podman, Aptainer, Charlie Cloud Shifter. Actually, we do see a surprise. Docker to me was a surprise because I'm just kind of wondering how they're doing that. I hope it's safely anyway. Of those systems and the set above, which HPC container technologies are you actually using? And so this was interesting to me because my gut was saying that Singularity was still much easier to use in Podman, and I had the sense that people were using it, and that's what it reflects here. Although Podman was, 21.4%, still Docker. Lots of people really like Docker. Now, what container technologies do you use on your local machine where you have root and all the superhuman powers? Well, it is Grandmaster Docker, of course. This wasn't surprising at all because I also use Docker for everything, and it's exceptional. Now, this is an interesting question. Which HPC container technologies haven't you used that you'd like to use? I looked at this plot, and at 46%, I read we're kind of good, bro. There are no container runtimes that I want to try. And I don't know about the top level answers that people were just putting something down. I don't know if these people are actually going to go out and try these other container technologies or if they're just answering the question because they wanted to put something. Remains to be seen. Let's talk about container images. So the Docker file is the way. When you build containers, you are using Docker files. 86.6%, that is a leader. But people are also writing Singularity recipes. I do that almost never these days, so I was kind of surprised about that. From scratch or manually, you whip them up with your fresh avocado toast. I actually don't want to know the details of how you're doing that because that sounds interesting at best. Now, some folks are using tools to help them build containers. HPC Container Maker, Report to Docker, SPAC, Easy Build. Here we have our package manager overlords. Hello, package manager overlords. Don't worry, the overlords are friends. Here they are together getting beer, probably at ISC like last year. I feel like that's the place that people drink beer. So let's talk about building in CI. Do you use CI/CD for automated build and deploy? Almost half of you said no. This is not great, folks. Let's make sure we automate all the things. If you can't, if you need help, ask an RSE, get help. Automation is really important. Once built, you tend to push containers to a central registry. Fewer people said no, that's good, but still this percentage, I think we can do better. Registries are really great. They can be private, so it's not an issue really of I can't share my secret thing. This is great for reproducibility for yourself. And we know there's a lot of registries. Docker Hub, GitHub Packages, a lot of people have their own private hosted GitLab. This was surprising to me because there were some events with Docker Hub, as we know, over the years, and I was surprised to see that it was as high as it potentially was. And in what context are you using containers, check all that apply. Not a lot of surprises again. So HPC, high performance computing, services, Kubernetes, workload managers, developer environments, whether they're remote or local. The one that surprised me was provisioning nodes, because when I think of provisioning nodes, I think of virtual machines, I think of Ansible, I don't think of containers. It would be interesting to learn more about that. Now let's finish up. We don't have a lot of time. I'm on the clock, Christian. So do you typically have to build containers for multiple architectures? Most people say no. There's a good sizable amount that says yes. That's so still important. What are your challenges? I made a word cloud. It was kind of useless, so I'm summarizing. Sub-UID, sub-GID for builds, file systems and access, security and privilege, compatibility with the host. By the way, we're working on that with the compatibility working group in OCI. Speaking with OCI, a lot of people said that our HPC community is disconnected from it. I do agree about that with the single layer CIF, et cetera, and the complexity of the whole thing, building, learning, running, like it is a lot to learn, but containers have become a regular part of our life. So maybe it's getting easier. I don't know. Now, features you'd like to see, I didn't do the word cloud, better MPI, PMAX support, reduction in the complexity of all these things, regular, consistent vulnerability scanning. You know, we don't really do anything with SBOMs. We don't really check signatures of things. We can do better. Scheduler integration, nesting containers, that was a really interesting idea. And then there were many people that just in many different ways were like, I want to be root. I don't like it that I'm not root and I can't do all the things that I could do with root. And of course, in here, you know, people would like to see more features for sort of using devices and MPI and that kind of thing. So raffle, the fun part. Guess what? We're not choosing a winner yet because you still have time to take it. Hold up your little cell phones and take a picture of this QR code. You can still participate in the raffle. I will probably be in my pajamas when I choose the winner, and I'll maybe hand it off to Christian. We will present the raffle at the end of the day today. Folks, have a fantastic conference. The talks are great. The boat trip sounds amazing. I will probably not see you later, but dinosaur out. I don't know what else to say. Have fun. Bye.